Learning to Focus. In his very interesting book, The 4-Hour Work Week, Timothy Ferriss has a chapter on time management in which he tells us to forget all about it. He asks us 5 questions. If you had a heart attack and had to work 2 hours per day, what would you do? If you had a second heart attack and had to work 2 hours per week, what would you do? If you had a gun to your head and had to stop doing 4/5 of different time-consuming activities, what would you remove? What are the top 3 activities that I use to fill time to feel as though I've been productive? Learn to ask, if this is the only thing I accomplished today, will I be satisfied with my day? While Ferriss may not have a lot of respect for time management, he has a great deal of respect for focus. All of his questions are attempting to get his readers to focus on the important things and minimize or throw out completely the unimportant things. Can you answer these questions for yourself? Ferriss also talks about the 80-20 rule. You're probably aware of it, which says that 80% of the output results from 20% of the inputs. Another way to look at this is that 80% of the results come from 20% of the time, or 80% of the profits come from 20% of the products and customers. A final thing Ferriss discusses is Parkinson's law, which states that a task will swell in importance and complexity in relation to the time allotted for its completion. Ferriss contends that giving too much time to do any task will make a mountain out of a molehill, and that a product of better quality will be produced when given less time. In all fairness, it all depends on the project. You can't demand a product in a day that in actuality needs a week to produce and expect top quality. But the point he's making is about focus, and the point we need to take away is that we need to take a fresh, honest look at our business and make the main thing the main thing. What is your 20%? How much time do you spend doing the 80% in order to avoid the 20%? When you can answer that honestly, you probably understand exactly what focus is. Now the steps are clear. Decide what your 20% is. Ask yourself why you're not focusing on it. Decide how you're going to make the main thing the main thing. Most of us get caught up in trying to accomplish trivial tasks. It makes us feel good, but what you make out of your business and your life is the outcome of what you focus on. So it's critical to focus on the most meaningful things in your business and in your life. Like so many other things in life, learning to focus comes down to making a decision that you will do it. Developing a plan of action. Have you ever spent any time studying very successful people? Do they seem to you to have something in common? There seems to be something about them, but it's somewhat elusive, not easy to define. Maybe you think it's all due to lucky breaks? But have you ever heard the expression, I find that the harder I work, the luckier I get? Something to think about, and of course, it's not just working hard, it's also about working smart. The most successful people share certain secrets. Call them ideas or call them traits, people with power or success or money seem to have these things in common. The power of persistence, the power of passion, the power of self-control, the power of decision and action, and the power of creativity. The power of persistence. We all know and admire people who have failed and gone on to great success. Before he invented the electric light bulb, Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times. He never saw it as a failure. He saw it as one more step towards succeeding. Henry Ford is another example. He came from a poor background with no education, but he looked at the horse and buggy and saw the amazing cars we drive today. Abraham Lincoln failed in business and in running for government several times, but we all know how he ended up. Persistence will carry you when intelligence and luck do not. Many of us give up too soon. Winston Churchill, a hero in horrible times, is well known for this phrase: never, 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 never give up. The power of passion. You've probably heard the expression, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. That's telling us that a good idea alone is not enough. You have to believe in it. I'll bet you know people who are very intelligent, but have never risen very high in life. And I'll bet you know other people who haven't had much going for them, but have succeeded in spite of obstacles. It's very likely due to their determination to achieve their goals in spite of anything that comes against them. To the extent that you can acquire this attitude, you will succeed. The power of self-control. Entrepreneurs have a lot of power over their jobs, but if it's used incorrectly, it can lead to failure. The power of self-control and business is really about the way you handle your thoughts and your emotions. As you take action instead of procrastinating to manage any drivers that keep you stuck and to focus, you will increase your ability to succeed. The power of decision and action. Studies have shown that one of the greatest causes of failure is lack of decision. Along with that, procrastination is the most common thing that holds people back from achieving their full potential. Studies have also shown that millionaires make a habit of making decisions promptly and then only changing them when necessary. Decision-making is not just about the ability to do it promptly. It's also about having the correct information on which to base the decision. You may need to rely on others for help or information, but base your decision on the most accurate facts possible. Once you feel you have those, take action. The power of creativity. This quality, creativity, is underrated. No doubt. Creativity does not just apply to writing a novel or painting a portrait. It applies to the life you create for yourself and the business you create for yourself in all their aspects. And so much of your success will depend on how creative your solutions are. Have you noticed? Almost every great success story in business begins with one good idea. If you can't think for yourself and imagine possibilities, you must depend only on what others before you have done. That might not be right for you. That might not be your best. At its best, your plan of action will combine all these success qualities or traits to create a completely rewarding plan for yourself. Now that we've cleared out the mental clutter and set up a positive mindset, we'll begin to clear out the clutter from your business with some practical steps and some very specific checklists.